Hello everybody, welcome back to It's Current Year for another quick battle ladder replay. Today on the worst map in the Total War Warhammer map pool, Altar of Ultimate Darkness. I am fittingly playing the Dark Elves up against the Greenskins of Techno Wolfric. This one gets underway pretty quickly, so I'll put it on a pause. My opponent's force, obviously, as the Greenskins are likely to do, lots of skirmish cav, Morgrum's Magi Marauders, some Forest Goblin Spider Riders out here, and a regular Forest Goblin Spider Rider without their bows over this side. Over for his main sort of battle line, front line of Night Goblins with the ROR here that have the Fanatics. So just some poisoned attacks, pretty cheap, it can be more effective than you think though, given they do have their poisoned attacks. Nasty Skulkers over here, some Savage Orc Biggins, and another unit of Forest Goblin Spider Riders, and a very interesting sort of hero core here, Skarsnik. Love seeing Skarsnik. He's obviously a lesser picked lord, given how good Grom is and Azag, but Fermented Fungi is an excellent ability for pulling things out of place and sort of ganging up on them. But he's gone pretty cheap. He hasn't taken the Prodder or anything like that. But he has also taken a giant River Troll Hag. She has taken, looks like Soulblight and Spirit Leech, as well as just her natural abilities. Doesn't look like she's taken the Blasting Scroll or anything like that, or the Assault of Stone. And as I said, there's some Savage Orc Biggins over on this side. So I'm playing a pretty narrow Dark Elf force. I'm playing the debuff star, and I have got some my skirmish cav of my own. So 2 units of Dark Riders with shields. 3 units of Dark Riders with shields, actually. The Slanesh's Harvesters, as well as a Cold One Knights. And then I'm using a little box of this buff/debuff force. So the Dread Spears and the Hellebroni, I had some leftover cash when I was sort of just buying my infantry, so I upgraded one of the spears to the Hellebroni rather than just pump chevrons or do anything else. I also have the Blades of the Blood Queen. Obviously, the Blades of the Blood Queen are excellent because they're giving all of these characters the Guardian aura, so pretty and obviously they're just unbelievable in combat themselves. The Bloodrack Shrine here, obviously with its dual role as a buffing for melee attack and leadership, but also likewise the debuff to the enemy force. Also has the Blood Shield. Oh no, that's the Helm of Many Eyes. So yeah, the Master here has taken obviously his own Guardian aura, and also has the Helm of Many Eyes. For another bit of a debuff. Marathi here is obviously packing her Enchanting Beauty and the Heartrender and Darksword. So there's just a massive amount of debuff, and we'll see it as the fight goes on, just what the effect it has. But she's also taken Soulblight and Soul Stealer, as well as the Wand of Corridon for some damage to DPS potential, and then we have the Chill Blade, so another debuff on enemy forces. So basically everything in this blob here is serving to either buff my own forces, debuff the enemy, or both. So yeah, as I said, this gets underway very quickly. A nice little pickup for me, actually, getting in on his skirmish cav and shutting them down pretty quickly, putting some damage into them and forcing them on the retreat. Chasing with obviously Dark Riders with shields is very, very nice because with the shield block chance, just so many of the arrows are just not meaningful. And obviously the Slanesh's Harvesters going after these two out here, pulling them back pretty quickly, not wanting them to get isolated and worked off. This unit of Forest Goblin Spider Riders down here, looks like they sort of hightailed it. Oh no, they came this way as well and tried to get a rear charge, but I will be bringing the Cold One Knights up as well to get in the fight, and they've got nowhere to run now. They're going to be worked down. They're probably going to shatter very, very quickly. They're minus 35 leadership. Still got these two sort of units out here. Forest Goblin Spider Riders are really, really annoying to deal with. Obviously 78 speed. They're not as quick as Wolf Riders, but with the poison, even on things like Dark Riders, once poison hits, look at that, 69 speed with poison effective on them. So they won't catch them. But like I said before, they're chewing up ammunition with their shield block chance. So sort of we'll call it a draw on that. Cold One Knights obviously going to have some good engagements here. Obviously they will absolutely pulverize Forest Goblin Spider Riders 1-1. They can also put some damage into the River Troll Hag and the Rogue Idol. And I get a nice pickup here, tying down 2 units. And I'm not sure if I bring these guys around to lap around and pin in, but I'm getting great engagements here with my Cav and my fast Cav, and I'm pretty confident, given I know now what he's rocking in the front line, that nothing here is going to have the stats naturally to beat me. Obviously, that's all these units actually did have Fanatics. I'm not sure I mentioned that on the way through, but some Fanatics going through and causing some damage to my Dread Spears, but it's pretty sort of topical at this stage. Pretty obviously fierce micro from both players at the moment, so I'm probably should be engaging at the moment with my infantry, but I'm just sort of all over the place microing my skirmish cav, and he does get another lot of Fanatics down. But this is good for me as well, because the infantry's not dealing sort of in a frontline to frontline engagement. They're sort of engaging just bit by bit, and it's allowing me just to basically just kill off these 2 units of goblins before anything else makes it in. And as I was saying before, have a look at the stats on these guys. Oh, I don't think... Nah, well, maybe it'd be good if I was microing my hero core, but yeah, we'll show you that in a second. Letting this guy on the Blood Rakshine just do some firing as well. And yeah, look at the stats on the Night Goblins. Bear in mind this is the ROR, so they are a little bit better than normal Night Goblins. But 11 melee attack, 22 melee defense. The River Troll Hag doesn't really want to be here. The Master and Marathi are both anti-large, so obviously that's not a fight that she's really going to be happy in, and I've got to make sure I keep everything nice and high and tight here. The Helibroni are a real favourite of mine. Obviously, look at my own forces as well. Look at the melee attack and the melee defense just from the Helm of Many Eyes and the Blood Rakshines. Again, not quite in the fight just yet. I'm using her ammunition, but I think she does actually fire in combat, so maybe that's a pretty big mistake for me. And there's just sort of no meaningful damage going down here on my forces. You know, the Blades of the Blood Queen have taken a bit of damage, but the Helibroni are quite solid. Unfortunately, these Dread Spears did get isolated by the Rogue Idol, but now we've got the Slaanesha's Harvesters. They've been chasing off some Forest Goblin, some Skirmish Cav, and they're ready to re-engage now that they've dealt with that. The Nasty Skulkers out here, I think actually jumped on one of my Dark Rider units, but now the Cold War Knights are coming in, and I've got my Hero Corps fighting the Rogue Idol. And again, look at his melee defense, 18. Obviously, still reasonably good melee attack, but 18 melee defense on a unit that is fighting anti-large enemies and armor-piercing enemies. He's just going to be taking a lot of damage. We see the steady sort of tick of damage here from the Cold War Knights going in, just bit after bit after bit. Like in the space we've been talking here, he's lost about 400 HP. Committing the Blood Rakshine over here now to try and get the debuff. I was a bit sloppy with that. They should have really been fighting already. But the Hero Core is healthy. The Blood Rakshine is healthy. The Big Un is taking a lot of damage. Look at all the debuffs on the and buffs on the Big Un. It's nearly full on the toolbar, but unfortunately the Cold War Knights have been pushed off. The Slaanesha's Harvesters have been doing some cycle charging, and are sort of taking a little bit of damage now from the Forest Goblins, but they're about to run out of ammunition. And even though my own infantry has sort of suffered, I've still got some. Unfortunately, the Helibroni are terrified, but the Blood Rakshine is healthy. The Master and the Death Hag and Marathi are quite healthy, and the Rogue Idol's just been absolutely pounded. You know, he's lost about 6,000 HP in the space of about a minute. The Skirmish Cavalry is going to come in and try and sort of just give these guys room to regroup, but Marathi's sort of just beelining the Rogue Idol, and around such I believe the Blood Rakshine causes terror. Obviously the Cold War Knights cause fear and had a rear charge coming in there, and just on the balance of power, given how healthy my Hero Core is, given the fact that I've got a lot of strong single entities left, it calls the game for the Dark Elves. So again, trying something, just fully committing to the debuff/buff play. Obviously not. You know, it would have been good to see how this sort of fared against some more Savage Orcs or something like that. Obviously, it's a pretty low level front line. My opponent obviously invested very heavily in the skirmish cav game, and I got some really good engagements there right off the bat. Morgul's Magic Marauders did next to nothing. We shattered that unit of Forest Goblin Spider Riders right out of the gate. These Spider Riders here obviously did a little bit of work, but you can just see here, obviously, probably should have had this Bladder Shrine in combat still, but still racked up 118 kills with its shooting attack, 126 on the Slaanesha's Harvesters, 48 kills and a fair bit of damage put into the Rogue Idol it's actually the big one, the ROR. So I'd say those cold ones got their worth, and just sort of obviously Death Hags and Marathi don't have great melee defense and are basically naked, basically have no armor. But just with the amount of debuffs going down on opposition's melee defense here from these three units, there's just no attacks getting through. Marathi has a heal as well with the Soul Stealer that we landed a couple of times. And obviously being single entity foot characters, if anything big comes in and tries to goon them, like the Rogue Idol, even the Giant Riverhole Trag, the fact that they get knocked around means they don't get as many attack animations get in. Enemy units lose their attack animations when they're mixed in with sort of other infantry. So my Dread Spears and I guess what infantry I did have was sort of helping in that regard. I guess I sort of just was looking at playing a sort of theme here with that whole debuff mindset and just fully committed to it. And on this occasion, it was able to sort of squeak out a win. So something different to think about. It's obviously a pretty common Dark Elf ploy here to have that sort of debuff Death Star built around Marathi. Food for thought, and try it out and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching anyway though, and until next time, take care.